As I was out walking this beautiful Monday morning, my thoughts turned to the Emerald Tablet of Hermes and the Holy Guardian Angel. Now, many years ago, I was asked to contribute a chapter to the Golden Dawn Journal, which was being curated by the Chick and Tabby Cicero for the Llewellyn people. And I've since reissued it in other forms, including, I believe, well, anyway, that's beside the point. There is much understandable confusion about the major landmark crises in the magician's career. The two major ones are the Holy Guardian Angel, that's associated with the sixth Sephira on the Tree of Life, and then there's the crossing of the abyss. The two are the angel and the abyss. Okay, and the idea that it is some kind of a linear event that could be understood in a linear way is just as difficult to wrap your meat brain around than it is to turn your head around and try to see the back of your head. Because at each levels of a person's initiatory life, I mean personal initiation, not club initiation, but in a sense, you take the old you up to the new you, just like you as an adult is not you as a child, but you take all the child's baggage up with you. And if you're lucky, you sort of magically transform that baggage to the benefit of the new you. So it's as you climb up the tree of life, when you move from 10 to 9, you don't leave 10 behind. 10 gets sucked up into 9 with you, and you still have to deal with those issues, but you have to deal with them from that new level. And so, but at the major landmarks, that dynamic becomes even more profound. And when you read the different mystics' literature on the subject, it seems like you're bouncing back and forth and back and forth. Well, I thought I got the Holy Guardian Angel. Why am I whipping up the four princes of the infernal regions? And when you cross the abyss, you finally realize what your angel really was, kind of thing. So, well, I thought I had my angel in 6. Yeah, you had your angel in 6, but you don't know what that's. You really understand what that angel is when you hit 3 or cross the abyss. I'm sure I've just lost all of you there, but for those of you who remain, there's one little section of the Emerald Tablet of Hermes, one verse or section 7. I'm going to read you the version of the Emerald Tablet of Hermes. It's only 13 little verses that appears in Manly Palmer Hall's Secret Teaching. No, I mean Lost Secrets of Freemasonry. Yeah, because it's a good version of it, and it's the one I use in this essay. So, just briefly, It is true and no lie, certain and to be depended upon, that the superior agrees with the inferior, and the inferior with the superior to effect that one truly wonderful work. As all things owe their existence to the will of the only one, so all things owe their origins to the one only thing, the most hidden by the arrangement of the only God. Now, those of you who are familiar with both this document and the Tao Te Ching will recognize what the Tao Te Ching is saying in the first couple verses of the Tao Te Ching about the nameless and the named. Okay. The father of the one only thing is the sun. Its mother is the moon. The wind carries it in its wings, but its nurse is the spiritus earth. Now that spiritus earth is number 10 on the tree of life. But that's connected directly to the number 1. Okay. It's that magical princess of the court cards of the tarot. That's the magical tens of the small cards of the tarot. It's that special thing. That's why the princesses are called the throne of the ace. The ace is spirit. Okay. The spiritus earth is in that, I would say, trapped. You could look at it that way. Trapped down in 10. And the idea of initiation is to alchemically treat that number 10, to release the spirit part so it arises. That one only thing after God is the father of all things in the universe. Its power is perfect after it has been united with spiritus earth. So its power is perfect when it hits rock bottom. Okay. Separate that spiritus earth from the dense or crude earth by means of a gentle heat with much attention. In great measure, it ascends from the earth up to heaven and descends again, newborn on earth. And the superior and the inferior are increased in power. That's the verse I want to talk about. This ascends up from earth to heaven and descends again, newborn on earth. And the superior and the inferior are increased in power. It's a feedback. This is what I have to say about this verse 7. The 7th verse describes the process we've just discussed. The subtle fire of the spiritus earth is released by the aspirant's fervor. It ascends from the microcosmic plane of Malkuth and vivifies the holy guardian angel in Tifereth, who then ascends to unite and transform the magician. The magician and the angel are each metamorphosed. In actuality, they become a single new entity. I'm going to digress for a second. I'm in a vulgar analogy. if the holy guardian angel is the handsome prince in the fairy tale of Sleeping Beauty, and his principality is up there in number 6. Okay. But you're a Sleeping Beauty asleep down in number 10. You're zonked. Okay. You're hay of hay final. Or you're the final hay in Yod Hey Vav Hey, excuse me. And the prince awakens you. But here's with a kiss, an intimate kiss. The holy guardian angel, whether it knows it or not, if we're looking at it as an objective character in our play, falls in love with the sleeping princess and seeks to unite with the sleeping princess, but doesn't quite know how. The prince feels unfulfilled. The prince feels only like a half entity. He desires to unite, to fulfill, to come to realization, come to knowledge, come to understanding, come to wisdom of who he is. And it's this urge, but he doesn't know how to express this urge, so he kisses her, kisses the sleeping beauty, and awakens her. So that's what's happening. You wake up at the prince's kiss. But the kiss also energizes the prince. You make your own holy guardian angel horny for you, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And it's that horniness that comes to life in the prince when he plants that kiss on you and unites with you, that starts that whole process going. Okay, you become angelized and the angel become you-ized. Okay. But I digress. The magician and the angel are each metamorphosed. In actuality, they become a single new entity. Abramelin instructs the newly HGAized magician to intimately commune with the angel for a period of 3 days, after which, under the angel's guidance, the 4 great princes of evil, Lucifer, Leviathan, Satan, and Belial, are to be summoned, and an oath of unquestioning obedience is demanded of them. Then on the following day, the magician is to summon the 8 sub-princes, Astaroth, Maggot, Asmodee, Beelzebub, Oriens, Paimon, Araton, and Amiamon, and extract from them the same pledge of service. The next day, the evil spirits, under the command of the 8 sub-princes, are conjured and subdued, and so on, and so on, and so on, until all the minions of hell have appeared before the angel-glorified magician and surrendered any inclination of sovereignty they may have imagined they had over this person. Isn't it curious that after 6 months of rigorous labor, and now we find out it's actually 18 months, rigorous labor to make oneself holy enough to spiritually unite with the angel, that the first thing your celestial mentor requires you to do is deal with the denizens of the infernal regions? Why is it that the very first thing after successfully taking the first major step toward godhood and is the conjuration of evil spirits? The clue may be found in the second half of verse 7 of the Emerald Tablet. That is, and descends again, newborn on earth, and the superior and the inferior are increased in power. The magician does not operate in a vacuum. Knowledge and conversation of the Holy Guardian Angel is literally an event of cosmic proportions. It's not just you that's waking up. You're waking up the entire universe. All levels of consciousness and existence are enriched by the balance the magician has reestablished in his or her quadrant of the universe. However, it's not only the heavenly angels who rejoice at the return of the prodigal child. Quote, the superior and the inferior are increased in power. The spirits of the infernal abodes also feel an injection of new power on this hallowed occasion. And if the magician doesn't act fast to harness this new energy, it'll overtake and destroy him or her at the instant the afterglow of the angel's presence begins to wane. It's not my intention in this place to embark upon a lengthy oration upon the character or even the relative existence of infernal spirits. Let's simply advance what momentum remains in this little essay and view them as inhabitants of the lowest sublevels of the microcosm. Disorganized and fragmented pieces of energy which, when properly directed, are responsible for doing all the heavy lifting in the universe. However, like circus tigers, they have the nasty habit of tearing apart and eating anyone whose skill, courage, and concentration are not quite up to the task of caring for them properly. Let's look at this aspect of the Abramelin operation in corporate terms. You are a talented shop foreman, the magician, who has succeeded in recruiting and training a band of wild and undisciplined workers from the worst part of town, the infernal regions. Under your strict guidance, this roughneck crew succeeds in boosting the factory's production to such high levels that your good work is brought to the attention of the company president, God, or the supernal triad, who introduces you to his beautiful daughter, the Holy Guardian Angel, with whom you fall head over heels in love. Soon your tenacity, charm, and the unique ability to lick your own eyebrows win the heart of the boss's daughter, and she marries you and has you promoted to upper middle management. Meanwhile, back in the shop, your old crew of workers are leaderless and restless. The lunch truck has stopped coming by, and they sit around all day and night with nothing to do but to abuse the heavy machinery and think about how you let them down. Abramelin, in his wisdom, saw this scenario coming. His instructions are explicit. Instead of ignoring the infernal spirits, your new bride and you go back to the shop the minute the honeymoon is over. You introduce her and explain that she's the boss's daughter and that they are now working directly for both of you in a new and more responsible capacity, adding that if they remain loyal, you will continue to promote them even as you are promoted. Admittedly, the analogy is a silly one, but I think you get the idea. So that's my comment on chapter or verse 7 of the Emerald Tablet of Hermes when put in context of one's own climb up the tree of life and spiritual awakening. That's it for Monday night class. Oh, I'm sure you can't find this anymore except in rare books. But I think I have it in Allow Me to Introduce or any number of things. The essay is called, let's see what I called it. You can Google it and find it anywhere, I think. It's just the Emerald Tablet of Hermes and the Invocation of the Holy Guardian Angel. Until Tuesday, tomorrow, probably from some kind of sweltering parking lot. Constance and I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will.